Well, look, every new government must be given a chance to settle in and find its feet. Being in government is not an easy task. And the first thing that happens to a new government is that the bureaucracy tries to take charge. In Canberra, there are bureaucrats everywhere, approximately 250,000. But the election was on May 21. Today's June 14. That's 3.5 weeks ago. It's time to both mark the government and warn the government. We should not pretend now that the energy crisis we face is of the new government's making. It is not. As I've just said, I've warned for years that this net zero nonsense, arguing that carbon dioxide, which is 0.04% of the atmosphere, was going to somehow destroy the world. I've argued that this was a national economic suicide note, and here we are. Now, warnings only a matter of hours ago from the Australian Energy Market Operator of possible power interruptions from late this afternoon. They're talking about maximum power load interruptions in Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia and Tasmania. The forecast was that Queensland would be impacted from 4:30 p.m. today until midnight, New South Wales from 5 p.m. until midnight, and further interruptions tomorrow. And potential power interruptions for Tasmania, South Australia and Victoria tomorrow evening. You'll note Western Australia is not included. They have a gas reservation policy, which I've been advocating for years. Now, of course, price is a barometer of scarcity. So as a result, the cost of power has risen so rapidly that the regulator has stepped in to place a cap on the wholesale price of electricity in Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia. Now look, make no mistake, we are in trouble. I made the point last week that we still receive about 60% of our energy from coal-fired power stations, and we're again being told about a series of breakdowns and maintenance outages at coal-fired power stations. Last week we were told, quote, "These coal-fired power stations have been shut down for maintenance. It's an ageing fleet," unquote. I've warned over and over again that the previous government and this government keep talking about transitioning from fossil fuels to renewables. And they're giving billions of dollars to the renewable energy industry to make that happen. We're now told that gas exporters are going to face more pressure over their supply to the domestic market. Again, I have argued we should have a gas reservation policy where, on issuing licences for gas exploration, one condition would be that a certain percentage be kept for domestic use. But can we again take stock of our senses? So, gas will save the day, will it? Well, as Graham Lectie from Brunswick West in Victoria writes today, the last time I looked, gas was a fossil fuel. And building more East Coast terminals at vast expense to handle gas is a definition of madness when there is another fossil fuel, coal, that can generate all the energy we need, unquote. Well done.